Hey critics, and welcome back to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel where you get commentary reviews and tabloid news. I'm your host, Patricia Hartley. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Before we dive into the top reasons for celebrating National Library Week, I want to first get into this Black on the Cover where we highlight Black excellence gracing the cover of today's top magazines. It's been a minute, I feel like, since I delivered this, so I had to just fit it in somewhere. So I figured, why not today? Okay. On the front of Entrepreneur Magazine, Damon John is on the March-April issue. I think there's a lawsuit actually going on right now. I don't know if he had to actually file against someone else, but I'll talk about that in a later show. Veranda, the Hollywood issue with Shonda Rhimes on the front. She's on the March-April issue. Hook and Barrel has Steve Harvey there on the March-April issue. On High Times, you got Rick Ross on the Spring-Summer 2026 issue. GQ Magazine has Jay-Z on the front cover of the April 30th anniversary issue. And of course, I know everybody's kind of chatting. Well, the chatter's kind of, died down now since the story's a little old at this point in terms of the news cycle. But yeah, Jay-Z did a sit-down interview, and I don't really personally, yes, it was good to see Jay-Z, I guess, kind of out and speaking, especially after what happened with that, lawyer down in Houston and all the things. But personally, for me, it didn't really showcase nothing that I didn't really already know, except to know what his frustrations were directly. The young man that was doing the interview, I mean, first off, epic to actually go on his resume, okay? To be able to say that you interviewed somebody like Jay-Z and all of the things. And so congratulations when it comes to that. I'm not trying to, act like that's not a big deal. However, I didn't really learn, that much new from the interview. But there is a nice spread in GQ magazine. When I say a nice spread, I mean like, the whole magazine could have been dedicated to Jay-Z at this point. They have so much information about, but it's a little bit more in depth than the interview that you actually saw on YouTube. So be sure to check out that GQ issue. Fashion Magazine has Zazie Beetz on the April 2026 issue. Olivia Dean is on the cover of Elle Magazine, the April 2026 issue. Emmy Magazine has Coleman Domingo on the April 2026 issue, and we all know that Coleman is going to be playing the role of Joe Jackson in the upcoming Michael movie that's going to be set to release this month. I think it's April the 24th, if I'm not mistaken. And the family, there's been some talk that actually the daughter, as well as Janet Jackson, so the daughter of Michael Jackson, and then of course Janet Jackson, they say that Janet saw a preview of the Michael movie and she had a lot of feedback and it did not quite meet her expectations, says the rumors. And I believe that's like National Enquirer that is the one who, reported that as well. But yeah, Paris Jackson as well, who's of course the daughter of Michael Jackson, she's not happy with the estate still, and she has an ongoing battle with that as well, which I've talked about in some previous episodes. So be sure to check that out on the channel as well. Hello Magazine has Mel B. I never thought I'd bounce back on the 19 well, they have their issues kind of numbered a little bit differently. So I think it's called the 1937 issue. And then Athlon Sports has Tiger at 50, Tiger Woods celebrating the man who changed everything issue. And of course, I talked about the situation that Tiger is in right now with the DUI arrest, but with that being said, there's more to come when it comes to that. That is not over for Tiger when it comes to his latest arrest. But again, browse the channel. I talked about that DUI arrest on a previous episode. And as a reminder, y'all, here at the Critic Chronicles, our goal is to provide quality but juicy content from websites, digital magazines, and tabloids, most of which are sourced from our public libraries. Research from the National Library of Medicine showed that there are an estimated 17,000 public libraries nationwide, totaling 4 million visits each day. Public libraries are civic organizations that are committed to providing invaluable resources beyond books that are free and open to the public. Get your library card to access thousands of resources today. And y'all, since National Library Week kicks off next week, I wanted to share some key facts about, of course, National Library Week and why getting your library card is important. And forgive me, I have my tea in front of me, so I will be sipping a little bit, okay? But yeah, National Library Week is celebrated every April. It typically takes place during the second full week of April and is recognized nationwide in the U.S. This year, it's going to be April the 19th through the 25th. I don't know if we're going to do something where we're going to try to upload every day during that week, so I don't want to make any promises just yet. Y'all, April is a busy month, so that's one of the reasons why I'm not able to do the reviews as I was able to do in the month of February. Plus, February is Black History Month. Shout out to Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? Black history is American history, so every day is Black History Month for me. It was first established in terms of National Tutoring Week back in National Library Week. It was established in 1958 by the American Library Association, which launched it to encourage reading in library use during a time when Americans were reading less. So, okay, the end of the 50s, I guess they was reading less. There's also going to be an ALA conference in Chicago this year, June the 25th through the 29th. And the opening general session speaker is going to be Rachel Maddow. And then the closing general session speaker is going to be Wayne Brady. The conference is going to be celebrating 150 years of ALA. And if you are looking to submit a proposal for the conference, there is still an opportunity to do so on their website up until, I think they said April the 24th is actually the deadline. Yeah, I think that's what it says. But yeah, the American Library Association organizes it annually. They provide themes, promotional materials, advocacy tools, but also there's like giveaways as well. So if you go onto the website, you can see some of the past, well, at one point in time when I was looking, I could see some of the past like prizes and things that they gave away, and they gave away some actually really good stuff, and you can still participate virtually as well. So with that being said, every day is a good day to get your library card, so you don't got to wait until National Library Week in order to get it, y'all. We promote you getting your library card at all times, and most of the resources that we use on this channel is actually as a result of having our library card. Yeah. Each year they have some sort of a national theme. This year, I believe, is something about joy. They also have special recognition days throughout the week as well. That Monday is typically the Right to Read Day. Tuesday is like National Library Workers Day. Wednesday is National Library Outreach Day. And then that Thursday is Take Action for Libraries Day as well. Many different libraries participate, whether it's public libraries, school libraries, academic, and also special libraries all take part. Side note, I was watching Instagram and they say if you have at least 1,000 books that you have your own personal library. Is that the number? Is it 1,000 books? So they say if you have 1,000 books, you're able to consider yourself to have a library. And they now have like this little scanning system and this like little database that you can like use for your own like home library. So you can actually keep track of all of your books. So shout out to that little cool device that I actually saw when I was scanning through the gram. Okay. Yeah. The National Library Week promotes equitable access to information, including the role that libraries play in providing free access to resources for everyone, right? The week encourages communities to also support library funding as well as policies as well. Programs and events increase basically community engagement. Libraries host maybe like author talks, book giveaways, workshops, and also card sign up drives. So just kind of sharing some examples of what maybe some of your local libraries might be actually doing. But during this National Library Week, and it also raises awareness of modern library services. So many people still associate libraries with like only books, but National Library Week showcases those digital tools, technology, and of course, learning programs. And of course, when I was a kid growing up, there wasn't these digital like magazines that they have, as of right now. And it is a lot more accessible than what it used to be. You don't have to wait for, a magazine to come to your home if you're subscribed, or you don't have to wait until you, hit up the store or the newsstand or, your local grocery store, wherever you get your reading tools from, or you used to. You don't have to wait for that anymore. You can actually, wait for that digital download through your public library. Yeah. And, some interesting, or I'd say some key facts about the importance of, getting your library card is because libraries really do support that lifelong learning aspect. And if you're a person who you enjoy learning, or you like learning new things, or to be honest with you, you like learning the things that you like to learn. Okay. And libraries has a plethora of different subjects and a variety of things that you can actually learn from. Plus on top of that, I think, and this was something I had to tell somebody like about a year and a half ago or so, when they were saying like, you talk about like library books and all of the things, but like, you're recording from your home. And it's like, I am recording from my home. But the truth is there's different libraries in different areas that might have different resources for the locals to use when you have your library card. Like, for example, down in Orange County, they have an actual podcast studio for you to use, and other studios as well. They have spaces for you to rent out if you have maybe like a community meeting, or maybe you have a meeting, right? You can actually rent the space out for free, and you can meet down at your local library. So you also have the computers for folks to use, as well, where you can log in. There's also different libraries that allow you to have a certain amount of like free prints, and you can go in and use their maybe their smart board room, but that you just have to check in with your local library. There's different tools and resources, and of course it just kind of depends on like where you're located. But I have been in a county before, or a parish, shout out to Louisiana, in a county before where they did have some of those in-house, like inside of the library resources, like podcast studios, right? Different meeting rooms for you to rent out, smart rooms. Then they also had different rooms where they would like host different courses about like starting your own, business and all of the things. So, I mean, the library is such a great resource that sometimes people don't, always think about. But I encourage people, especially during a time like this, look into your local library and see what they can do, see what free tools they have. And it may allow you to be able to cut back on some of the things that you have going on, maybe even some of the subscriptions, maybe not. But either way, it does not hurt to have an additional resource like a library card. Okay. With that being said, I will just remind you that for access to the articles and the full episode of many of our shows, be sure to check out the channel, and also be sure to check out the show notes and join us this month in celebrating National Library Week, April the 19th through the 25th. This year's theme is Find Your Joy. I knew it was something about joy. Also, be sure to subscribe to our backup channel, Hey Critics, also linked into the show notes. And thanks again for tuning in to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel, where you get commentary, reviews, and tabloid news. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload.